Khabib leg lace first, shutting down the knee, elbow escape from mount, and then back take from the underhook crossface, right? So when we're in this position, let's say that Adrian's framing on me, I haven't secured, like say, chest to chest, and he's like say monitoring this crossface. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to switch into like a reverse side control. So we want to hip back, because you can see Adrian's elbow is kind of connected to my hip or my stomach. So we hip back, and I pummel my hand inside, bring my left hand over, and then I go to my left hip. I then take a scoop grip on Adrian's left leg here. So if Adrian tries to bridge or he tries to turn in, this is very hard. We have really good control, and it's easier for us to get into mount in this kind of position. So we'll go one more time. So Adrian's framing, I'm not able to get my hand inside, because anytime I try to pummel my hand inside, he brings his elbow close to my hip and my stomach. So I put my left foot on the floor, and I hip hoist and I reverse back to create space. Pummel this hand inside, hips go square, I roll to my left hip, and then I take a scoop grip here. Alright, so my hip is inside Adrian's right elbow, so if Adrian tries to move around, he tries to bridge or get his guard back, this is very hard. Side control, and say like you have this tight waist, your main options with this left hand is 1, look for a near side underhook, 2, regular crossface. We can go into like a reverse underhook here. The problem with this is, like this is still like it's good control, but if people are good at building up from octopus, they can start to scissor and then work from these types of positions here, all right? Whereas if we get this kind of false grip on the elbow, if Adrian tries to build up now, it's a lot harder. So my focus in this position is usually to keep weight on Adrian's shoulder line, all right? So I'm keeping my weight here, so I'm not like, my rib cage isn't on, say, his chest or his belly, because he can still kind of move here. I want to bring my elbow up to his head, and I'm keeping my weight in his shoulder line. I'm taking a scoop grip, elbow deep on Adrian's knee, and the goal is when he moves, I'm trying to keep this outside hip and outside shoulder as flat as I can. So if you try to move around there, Adrian, you know, I'm trying to keep this pinned to the floor. What I'm also doing, this is a bonus, I'm trying to get my hip inside Adrian's elbow, but I'm trying to get his elbow up past his shoulder here, just putting him in kind of a weaker position. So if you try to move around a little bit here, and I'm constantly putting his left hip on the floor. Alright, so we have a couple of different options from here then to get into the mount. So let's just kind of focus on where our weight is, and then try to keep this hip and this shoulder on the floor, and keeping our weight on that shoulder line. Alright, so 3, 2, 1. Just got into side control, we know, like say, chest to chest or upper body grips. He's doing a good job of, like say, monitoring the crossface hand and framing on my chest to stop me from getting chest to chest and underhooks and so on, right? So we hip bump, I can pummel the hand inside for a regular crossface, or go over the far shoulder, take a scoop grip. We take a scoop grip with our right hand and a false grip with our left hand here. We're keeping weight on the shoulder line. This is a really good grip to stop someone from, like say, bridging and then come building up to turtle and so on, right? What I want to do now in this position is I'm going to pull with my right hand to get Adrian's hips up off the floor. So I take his hips up off the floor and I shelve his leg with my leg. Once this happens, my right hand goes over and then I cup the back of my knee here. All right, so if Adrian tries to move now, this is pretty hard, like I said, because his lower back isn't on the floor and his feet isn't on the floor. So what I then do is I slide my right foot out, forearm goes to Adrian's knees, I get his knees down low, I wedge my left knee under his knees, and I step over. So now what I want to do is put weight on my knee and on my hand. I start to square up, lift my left leg, and then I'm going to put my shoelaces on top of Adrian's ankles here. So if Adrian tries to move around, this is pretty hard. So our main goal from here is to get, like say, some type of underhook or some type of anchor. So it could be double unders or single unders. If Adrian tries to move away, you can see that it's very hard for him to use these frames. So what Adrian wants to do here is he wants to frame, move his head away, and that should start to free his knees. Alright, so as soon as we square up and we lock up our leg lace, I take this underhook, and my goal now is to start climbing. So if you try and move away there, Adrian, so either with single underhooks, grab the head, grab the shoulder, one knee at a time. Once we come into this position, we go head over head, and our goal then is to try to get Adrian's elbows over his shoulders. Alright, so we'll go again. So we're here, scoop grip, you're going to pull with your right hand, and like say, try catch the right knee with your right knee, here. And then we catch. Alright, we grab our own leg, forearm goes back on the knees, we slide our right foot away, that brings our knee down, we step over and catch. I then put the weight onto my right knee and right hand, and I start to square up, lift my right foot off the floor, and then we go shoelace to shoelaces or shoelace to ankles. He wants to frame, he wants to move his head away, so we get some type of anchor here. So if Adrian tries to move, you can see this is pretty hard. I go one knee at a time, left knee, right knee, until we can get, like say, head over head, and then the next goal is to bring the elbows over the shoulders where we can start attacking. All right, so what's going to give you a tight leg lace is the position of your bottom knee. So when you come to here, say my knee is say above Adrian's bottom knee. That's really important. The second thing to stop you getting like say off balance is try not like I'm exaggerating this a little bit, but try not step over his legs when his knees are kind of pointed up towards the ceiling. You want his knees as low as possible. So like if you watch my shoulders, they don't really change position. Whereas like say if he's up high, I have to move my weight, move my upper body where I'm like kind of under to being countered. So when you're here, you lift, you get both legs, like just spend a little bit of time like moving your foot, sliding this down, and being aware of your shoulders. Stepping, so my upper body didn't change. What's going to give me a nice kind of bite on this is getting as much connection as I can with the hamstring here, and I'm keeping that strong back heel. And I'm keeping that back heel while I put my knee to the floor, hand to the floor, and then I square up here to get our leg lace. All right, so let's just think about those two details for the next 2 minutes, and then we'll move on to mount. 3, 2, 1. I learned this as a purple belt, and then it changed my mount game forever, right? So here, so we're gonna start off with the scoop grip. We manage to shelve 2 legs, slide the knee down, we step over, we get our Khabib leg lace, we lock it up, and then we start to square up. All right, so now that we're square, we get our, like say, our anchors on the shoulder, so underhooks, and then we start to walk up one knee at a time. All right, so I'm gonna look to get a crossface in this position. A lot of times, say if Adrian turns towards me, so if you turn towards me, Adrian, the side that he's looking at, I'm going to take a crossface on that side and get him to look to the opposite side he's working. If Adrian kind of bails on, say like trying to escape on that side, he tries to work on this side, we take a crossface and we bring him back to this side here. All right, but let's say Adrian goes back to the right side now again, and I feel that he's starting to push my knee down, like back into a half guard, using like a knee elbow escape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this heavy crossface. I'm going to use my right foot or my right knee, depending on how high or low my right leg is. All right, we'll explain that properly in a second. So if Adrian tries to push, I get a crossface and I put my toes on say top of his quad here. All right, so if you keep pushing, so this is decent, but it's not going to keep me here forever. What I do is I bring my left leg under his leg, and I get my shoelaces on his quad now. So where my right foot was, my left leg, I pass off to my left leg. So my right foot was here, left leg goes under, and I get to the shoelaces. I make Adrian do the splits, and I turn his head in the opposite direction. So no matter how hard he tries to do the elbow escape, it won't work. Alright, then we can use this to flatten out and then move back into the mount. Alright, so again, so if Adrian's working on this side and he starts to like say push this knee down, I find that I'm losing it. Right foot goes inwards, we get heavy crossface. I'm trying to put this top shoulder on the mat, but Adrian keeps pushing, so he's trying to get this knee down low. This left leg comes inside, replaces my right leg, and I make him do the splits here. And I'm basing on this right foot and basing on my left hand. So if Adrian tries to push me back to like half guard, this is very hard. We go crossface, put the shoulders on the mat, and then we can start to attack from here. Alright, so 3, 2, 1. Now we're just going to work a back take from here, right? So a lot of times when you have a regular crossface and you're trying to, create pressure, a lot of time you're looking for, say, like your opponent to try to get on their side. So if he tries to get on the side and he exposes his back, then obviously we back takes here. But like say, when you go through like say the higher levels and stuff like that, people aren't going to take the bait as easy, right? So what we're going to do is off a crossface underhook. So I have a right underhook, left crossface. I'm going to lift my elbow and I catch his neck here. I post on my left hand, and now the goal is basically to kind of do like a shrug where I get Adrian onto his right hand side here. All right, once this happens, I'm going to get like say my head and chest behind Adrian's back to keep his back exposed. The goal is if I can reach his top hand with my right hand, we can just go into seatbelts and figure 4 seatbelts. If his hand is kind of far out, we'll pass it left to right. All right, I'm going to go with a figure 4 seatbelt. I slide my knee up and my head up. I'm going to basically get my elbow behind Adrian's elbow. I drive his elbow to the floor to expose his back more. I cut an angle. I start to fall back to my left hip, and I make Adrian bring his head over to my left hip by using the seatbelt to pull him across. here. All right, so we'll go again. So we're doing this off the cross-face underhook rather than a regular underhook. So this is your cross-face, this is an underhook. We're going to turn this into a cross-face. So we lift, catch the neck, post, and I get Adrian onto his side. I bring my knee behind his back, catch the hand. We go a figure 4 grip. Head is behind Adrian's head, sliding this knee up. I'm putting Adrian's elbow onto the floor by connecting my elbow behind his elbow. My knee goes behind his shoulder. Strong back heel with my left leg. Fall to my left hip, and I bring Adrian's head over to my left hip where we can take the back. All right, so 3, 2, 1.